We're gonna go camping in the George Washington National Forest, which is just like nearby. We're not like traveling across the country or doing that kind of craziness.
Staying in Virginia and getting out like the governor said to.
Yeah, exactly. And you can call the ranger office right now, whatever, and like they'll tell you like it's totally legit. Like you can go out camping in the forest. You can't go to like the campground and hang out with everybody and do all that kind of craziness. So we are gonna go do some primitive camping.
Yep. So follow along with us and have some fun. Thanks.
Hey YouTube, so the question I get the most is, are they open? I'll provide this link in the description, but this is a forestry's website. You can download the map, and on the left hand side it has contact information. You can reach out to the forestry ranger to triple check that they're open, but everybody I know that's reached out to them, even during COVID-19, was told that they are totally 100% open. The forestry roads are open. The campgrounds and stuff where you might be getting close to each other may not be. So anyway, if you open up the map that is on there, this is a map that we're interested in, map number 9. And on map number 9, the left-hand side, the big red box, that would be Flagpole Knob. The trail starting in the bottom right corner of the red square would be Union Springs, and then the lake in the upper part of it near that orange circle would be Switzer Lake. And so the trail that kind of goes like up and then to the left and then up to the center would be the Flagpole Knob, and we are camping at that orange circle that I put on the Flagpole Knob. That was the site that we selected, and you'll see that in the video. So then what are the other boxes that are up there of interest? So the pink box is Feedstone Mountain, which we'll do a video on. That's a forestry road. The blue square that I marked is Dictum on the left and Second Mountain on the right. And so then the question comes, well, why are those lines different than the other lines, right? So those are dashed lines, like the black dashed. That means that they're ATV, UTV, side-by-side play areas. But you can take your Jeep out there too. But it just means that those are meant for like more off-road vehicles, where the other ones are all just like forestry roads. So anyway, there's a map, and I'll like supply a link in the description on this. So let's get to the video. Hey YouTube, so this weekend basically is a camping weekend that we do Second Mountain, Dictum, Feedstone, and a little bit of Flagpole. The main focus were those other areas that we haven't been to, the blue box and the pink box. Obviously we have numerous videos now on the red box, and we are actually in the red box right now on Route 33 in the upper right hand corner. We're headed toward Switzer Lake, headed right toward that orange circle. This video will be mostly the camping segments, and I will separate the segments for Dictum and Second Mountain into their own videos, so then you can just go straight to the Dictum video and just watch the whole Dictum trail or watch the whole Second Mountain trail, or whichever trail you're interested in. So this is the lakeside, and basically from the highway you just make this turn off like right here, for anybody that's wanting to go to the lakeside, and you can see the lake right there on the left. And this is a good kind of intro to show you how to even get on the Flagpole trail from the other side. And when I say the other side, if you haven't seen the video, there's 3 different ways to get onto Flagpole Knob. You can get there from West Virginia, which I've never done. You can get there from Union Springs, which is considered the more difficult way, or the less easy way in my mind. And then there's this way, which is the lakeside, which is the ultra easy way. And you'll see like even cars, like regular plain Jane 2-wheel drive, like I don't want to say like Corvettes, but like just regular cars that up here. It's a gravel road. There's nothing to be scared of at all, like on the lakeside. So I did speed up the video like I usually do, just for brevity a little bit, because it looked like it was 8 minutes of driving around, which nobody really wants to see probably. And as you can see, there is a Toyota soccer mom van on this trail. And like I said, I mean, anybody can make it up this trail. You don't have to have a fancy Jeep to do at least this half a flagpole, and the other side isn't too terrible either, but this side is just like really easy. So that little road that turn off there takes you to the lake. Even if you make the wrong turn, like you'll end up at the lake, and then you'll turn around and be like, oh, that road goes to the lake. Like it's pretty obvious, and it's only like a mile. Like, so this is a road, and if you are using the Google Maps, it'll tell you this is a way to go to Flagpole. If you put that in your Google Maps, because all these are forestry roads, are all in Google Maps. There's zero service, so make sure that you download the maps like way ahead of time at home and have them in your phone, quote unquote offline maps. Like, that's what it's actually called, the feature. I can link a thing in the corner to show you how to load them in your phone, but you want all the maps in your phone so you know how to get around this place, so you feel nice and comfortable. So there's a pull off there. That's a fishing area on the left, that it says, and there is primitive camping down there, but the primitive camping, you have to carry everything in the woods, and yeah, we don't do that. We want to pull up our truck like right next to where we're going to set up, and then just unload the truck and carry as little as possible. And so this is, like I was saying, is a base of the Flagpole Knob Trail, and this is right around the lake, and you can see there are some little potholes and stuff, but nothing of too much difficulty. So this footage was taken in around April. On the right here was the site that I had the most interest on when we passed, but I was driving around, we were just kind of spotting the other ones. There's a little bit of trash on the ground. That's not good to see, obviously, but I mean, it's not absolutely terrible. That's pretty terrible on the right, but that's like a big campsite. So this right here is the one that I was like the most interested in. This was like, I was like, this is what I want, because we aired up on the other side, and I had kind of looked over here and saw it. And this is basically the site that we end up in. So this is going to be our campsite for the night. You saw it's like a little bit secluded, and it is like right off the stream. It already has an established fire pit. So here we go. Hey YouTube, so we found our campsite for the night. It's pretty cool. I'm going to just pan around and let you see it. But it's basically this little secluded little cul-de-sac, it looks like, of a campsite where we can set up our little base operations for this weekend. And it's maybe 40 feet off the main trail to Flagpole near Switzer Lake. We're right next to the little creek crossing that you do.
It's kind of nice back here, a little secluded along the river, so it's kind of nice.
So behind me here, this like is a creek that I was talking about, and you can see this is a creek crossing that you do at Flagpole on the Switzer Lake side, and then there is this like little like kind of 30 or 40 feet of trail to get to where our Jeep is. And then if I just pan around, you can see that there's an already established campfire here, which is nice. Kind of a big area for a tent. You could actually probably fit like 2 or 3 tents back here, but it's just going to be us back here, and so this is going to be it. So this is going to be our little setup, and you're going to get to see us set up our camp. Hey YouTube, so this is going to be the campsite that we're going to use at the George Washington National Forest, and the chair that you saw that she pulled out is actually the toilet, and it's new, but it's from Cabela's, and that's where we decided to put our tent. And the tent that we have for the summertime at least is a REI Kingdom 6 tent, and then obviously it's from REI. And then we also have a second tent that we use in the winter time if we do winter camping, from Cabela's, and it's a Little Bighorn if you want to know specifically which tent that we use in the winter time. The Little Bighorn is way harder to set up time wise than this tent. This was a couple minutes to get set up. The Cabela's one takes probably half an hour to set up, if not longer, but the other one is like way bigger, and you can even put like a stove or whatever on the inside if you really want to. So we knew that it was going to rain also at different points during our trip, so we decided to set up a canopy also, which is also always kind of helpful. And that green tent there that we went off camera and set up is a bathroom tent that goes with that chair. So essentially, our plan is to put the bathroom tent as far away from the other tent as possible, but still have it like within, like a short walking distance. And then we're going to put the truck lined up with a canopy, so that will be the cooking area, and we'll just cook on the bed of the truck. And then the camp stove will go with us when we go out on these different trails. So then, we can make nice warm food, hamburgers and hot dogs or something like that while we're out on the trail, and have a nice little like barbecue, essentially. So you can see, how much stuff you can fit in the back of the Gladiator, even though it has a short bed. And essentially, everything we needed was back there, and there was still kind of space left over. The wood that you see was just a piece of wood that I have a tendency of putting either the camp stove or the buddy heater on, and we have a buddy heater also that we ended up putting in the tent to keep us nice and toasty at night, because it did get kind of cooler when we did this in I want to say early April. Hey, so I'm going to give you a little tour of the campsite now that we have it all together. And like I said, the Jeep footage will be in the next video. If you're wanting to see us off-roading and stuff like that, it'll be a different video. So there's our Jeep, obviously, that we have, the Jeep Gladiator Rubicon. And here you can see the pan out. That is the restroom there, and it's like a toilet seat sort of, with like basically a bucket underneath it. And then we have the chairs all huddled underneath the canopy to keep them from getting wet, because at a certain point it started raining a little bit. And there is our campsite, and then the cooler is a convenient way to hook the dog up, and then you can move her around and have her only have access to certain spots. At one point I had her like hooked to the truck, and she kept walking around the tires, like kind of getting hung up, and so it was easier just to attach her onto the cooler, just sort of like, so she had a big kind of area that she could walk around, but there was nothing for her to easily hoop herself around. Little like tip for those with dogs. And you can see it's a very, very like relaxing and forested. Hey YouTube, this is our campsite that we have set up for the weekend, and I'm just going to let you just see what it looks like, the primitive camping in George Washington National Forest. So there's the road right there, and then obviously we have our Jeep. It might rain a little bit, we're not really sure. So we have the Jeep kind of backed up to the tent on purpose. And so this is our campfire area that we have, with our chairs and the Corgi, of course. And we are right next to a stream, and this is an established campfire with all the rocks and everything. And so there's enough room back here for a couple tents, obviously, but you know, we're going to be kind of overzealous Americans and just take like the whole site for ourselves, whatever.
Social distancing.
Yeah, social distancing, like she said. So anyway, so there's a truck right there, and yeah, you hear something sizzling behind me. The truck, the bed of the truck intentionally is like backed up underneath the canopy that we have here for cooking, and we are actually already cooking our lunch. And yeah, it's a pretty simple lunch. It's just hamburgers and hot dogs type thing. And then that's like the bathroom over there, and it's like legit what we have in there. And so anyway, so this is our tent that we have, and it's a Kingdom 6 REI tent, which means it's a 6-person tent. And so if you don't know tent sizes, I'll just tell them to you just for those noobs. When it has like the number on the side, that's how many sleeping bags can roll like out on the floor. Like, and even if they have to do like kind of Lego it all weird. So for 2 people, like a 2-person tent means that like you're like basically whatever the width of 2 sleeping bags is, it's like tiny. It's like trying to think about like sleeping in the back of this bed of this truck. But as is, like that would be the 2-person tent. So a 4-person tent is like the minimum to me for like a 2-person, and then like if you have like kids or whatever, maybe a 6-person tent would be fine. Here's the inside of it. We have it oriented like this with a bed, but the bed goes the other way too. This is a queen size bed, so it can fit 2 queen size beds from edge to edge. Or if you're overzealous like we are, you could put the queen size bed right in the middle. And the dog has its own little bed down there and everything too. And there's a divider, and as you see, the top of it is netted, so in the summertime we can actually open it up and everything. And then this little thing here is called like a garage, sometimes they refer to it. It's an overhang, so then you can get out and you're not like in the rain if you didn't have this like big canopy that we put out. But we put the canopy out so we could easily just go between the truck and the tent in case it rains a little bit, which it's supposed to rain just a hair. So we're gonna hang out here at the campsite today. Today's Friday, and then Saturday and Sunday we're gonna run around and we're gonna go do Dictum, Ridge, Second Mountain, Long Run, and of course we're at Flagpole, so we'll probably do Flagpole and Union Springs. So we will see you guys around.